Hello and welcome to day 3 of 7 days of Halloween. Hi everyone, it's Monica and welcome back to day 3 of 7 days of Halloween. So the last couple of cards that we created, I didn't do any stamping, but this card definitely has some stamping and we're going to be using some of our distress oxides as well. Now last year Tim introduced this zombie set and it was a really fun set. But this year he came out with those googly eyes. So we're going to go ahead and just add on to those monsters and create a different version from what I did last year. Now, I know everybody doesn't use Copic colors and not everybody likes to color necessarily. So I'm going to show you an easy trick on how you can still get some great colors on your monsters without having to actually color them. Now, the 3 colors that I found work really good for the monsters are the Rusty Hinge, which is the orange color, and then the green color is the peeled paint, and then for the yellow color it's the Fossilized amber. And I found that these 3 colors were great for monsters, especially zombies. So what I did is I went ahead and took one of my circle die cuts and I made myself a template, and then I took that paper and I just brought it over to my cardstock, which measures 5 by 7. Now the actual finished card is going to be an A2 card, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. But I wanted to start out with a larger size paper so that way I will have room to trim it down. And as you can see, as I'm adding the color to my circle, I am overlapping it onto each circle just a bit. Not too much because you want to make sure that you have room for your monster to fit inside the circle without overlapping the colors. Now, not to say you couldn't overlap your monsters with other colors, but I wanted to have one monster per each color, and that's why I chose to kind of take care when I was overlapping my colors. Now, one thing that we tend to forget when we are stamping and creating our cards is sometimes we forget to mix and match our stamp sets. Last year, or probably a couple seasons ago, the Haunted House came out, and there's a really great background stamp that will work for almost any card, and that's, of course, the splatters. So don't be afraid, or just don't forget that you have other stamps out there that will go with some of your other sets. So when you're creating your Halloween cards, bring out all of your stamp sets. See which stamp sets work well together, so that way you can make sure to get your money's worth on your stamps. We don't have a large window to create our Halloween cards, so you want to make sure that you don't forget what stamp sets you've collected over the years and that you bring those out and give those some love as well. All right, so once I had my splatters all over the white space, then I went ahead and I pulled out my zombies. And the zombies are different sizes. You have one zombie that his face is a little bit longer, and then one zombie that's a lot smaller. So when you are laying out your zombies on your circles, be somewhat strategic. Because you did do some overlaying on your circles, try to find the zombie, of course, that's going to fit best in the circle. And then I just added all 3 of my zombies to my stamping platform, and I stamped them all at the same time. This made it a really easy, fast card to create. And then once I had all of my zombies stamped out, then I went ahead and I brought out my guillotine trimmer so I can trim down my card to an A2 card, which is going to measure 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Now, you might be wondering why I didn't start out with the size that I'm going to end up with. And there's a couple reasons for that. Number one, I always like to start out with a little bit bigger cardstock than I'm going to end with. And that's because I like my stamping to be somewhat organic. I don't want it to look too planned. And also, as you can see, when you start to trim down your cardstock, and the final trimming of your white cardstock is going to be 3.75 by 5 inches, because remember, we're going to add that black cardstock. But as you start to trim it down, you can see that we are cutting into the circles a bit. Now, some of you may not like this, and I completely understand that. Some of you like your cards to be perfect. You want your circles to be perfect. You don't want anything cutting into that. But I like my cards to look somewhat organic. And that's why I like to start out with a bigger piece of cardstock and then trim it down. And then once I add my black cardstock, it really will make your card pop. Honestly, when it comes to creating cards, there's so many variations that you can create. And when I'm sharing with you some of my ideas, these are just things to make you think a little outside of the box. Many of us are, stuck within the way that we typically create cards, and it's hard for us to think outside of the box. So hopefully some of my ideas will just get you thinking that you don't have to have a perfect circle. You don't necessarily have to have it exactly aligned. It's okay to be somewhat organic, and it still makes for a great card. Okay, so once I had my white cardstock matted onto the black cardstock for my border, then I went ahead and I chose my sentiment. And there's a variety of sentiments that you can choose in this stamp set. And the one that I ended up using was, I like you, but if zombies chase us, I'm tripping you. I just think it's a really funny card, but there's several other sentiments that would work great, and they're all really funny sentiments, so it will make a really cute Halloween card. Not too scary, even though these are zombies, but hopefully a funny card. All right, so at this point, I'm going to go ahead and adhere my finished top to my white cardstock. And as you're going to see, as I've mentioned before, I can never get my top of my card aligned. It's one of the things I get so frustrated with. I ended up taping it down and pulling it back up just to try to get it aligned. And I could have easily edited this out, but I wanted to share with you. This is a problem I have regularly. All right, so once I got my card straight, then I wanted to go ahead and add my eyes. And if you don't have these eyes in your stash, or you don't want to spend the extra money, your zombie card is perfect, just finished as it was. You could add some red maybe to the eyes to make them look a little bit bloodshot. But I went ahead and went the extra mile, and I'm going to add these eyeballs just to have a little bit of dimension. These eyeballs popping out just really make the card, in my opinion. And it was a fun addition to the Idea-ology set this year. And the adhesive that I'm using to glue down my eyeballs is that crackle accent. Even though it will work as a glossy accent, it works as a pretty good adhesive as well. And if I have it sitting on my desk, sometimes I'll just use this to adhere some of my 3D items. So with the addition of the eyeballs, my card was pretty much complete. And all I needed to do was add the sentiment inside of my card. So hopefully you've enjoyed the third card that I've created in my 7 Days of Halloween series. I'm going to be back tomorrow with another card, and we're going to be doing some more stamping. So as always, I'll leave a list of all the products that I've used to create the card along with the links to the stores. If you've enjoyed my video, don't forget to leave me a thumbs up. And in the comments, let me know, do you prefer the zombies with the popping eyeballs, or are you fine with just painting them red bloodshot? Now don't forget, I am going to use your comments to enter you into a drawing, but you also have to be subscribed to my channel, so don't forget to hit that subscribe button. All right, everybody, thanks so much for stopping by, and we'll see you again tomorrow.